Here at historic Riggs Field in Clemson, South Carolina, we arrive at the Sweet 16 in the 2019 NCAA Men's Soccer Championship. The Providence Friars taking on the Clemson Tigers. Hi, everybody, and welcome in with Kevin Kennedy, Pete Gannady with you on a breezy night here in Clemson. We see two teams coming in among the national leaders among the top 6 in shots per game, so we should see the ball flying around a little bit.
Yeah, these windy conditions, two very offensive-minded teams. I think we're in for quite a match tonight.
Now, throughout the season, each of these teams has really shown great maturity, great veteran poise, as evidenced by the fact they've gotten this far as the Friars and the Tigers get ready to meet here deep in the postseason. Last week in State College, Pennsylvania, an overtime victory for Providence. Here at historic Riggs Field, Clemson outlasting Charlotte in overtime. That action in State College, Providence was down 2-0 in the second half. They forced overtime, and Trevor DeVoe then stepped up for the Friars.
And this is a player that Clemson will need to keep an eye on. He's been scoring some big-time goals when it counts.
DeVoe has actually seen the Tigers before. He's a grad transfer for the Friars from Boston College. As for the Tigers, they were scoreless after a half, tied 1-1 at the end of regulation. In the overtime, Grayson Barber coming through with the golden goal.
Yeah, UNC Charlotte defender fails to clear the ball. Grayson Barber pounces on it, one time off the post for the game winner.
It was the 10th goal of the season for Barber. 3 Tigers have reached that mark for the most prolific offensive team in all of NCAA Division I soccer this season. We come back to kick things off in just a moment. Clemson playing in its 26th Sweet 16 of all time on a chilly and breezy December night here in Clemson, South Carolina. We're back after this. Kevin Broadley holding the ball, our referee tonight, assisted by Jude Carr and Robert Dale. Raymond Thomas, the 4th official for this Sweet 16 match. The Providence Friars, 16-6 on the season, 3rd in the Big East this year at 6-3, and among the players to keep an eye on for them, the very talented Paulo Lima. Number 6 for them, a midfielder.
8 goals and 2 assists on the year. Second team All-Big East to selection, as well as the All-Tournament team member.
You saw Trevor DeVoe also for Providence. We talked about him. Of course, Camarnie Smith and the Tigers, a prolific team, 67 goals this year among the many offensive statistics in which they top the nation. Entering this match, Clemson's second of this 2019 NCAA tourney. They received an opening round bye. Providence with wins against New Jersey Tech and then Penn State. And here they are playing for a third time as we're underway. Tigers, Oscar Agron. And Clemson will move on the attack. A Clemson team that gets back the services of Malik Mbai, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. A senior had to sit out the previous match due to a red card. The very talented freshman for the Tigers, Philip Mayaka, with the ball momentarily, gets it back from Felipe Fernandez. Ahead it goes, Robbie Robinson trying to run it down. So you see Mbai, that red card due to the infraction against Virginia in the ACC Championship. His services in a tight game last week obviously missed. Tigers, though, able to survive, but he also adds such a great element, both from a defensive standpoint, but for the flow of what this team tries to do.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of senior leadership from Mbai, and it's always a ripple effect when you lose a key player like that. They had to adapt, move Justin Malou inside. Alvaro Gomez came in at right back for him.
Austin Aviza, the goalkeeper for Providence, the kick away. Going for the header was Robinson for Clemson.
Pete, one of the things I think will be interesting to watch tonight is Providence is in a 3-5-2 formation. You don't see that a lot on the men's side of the game. If Clemson can really keep that width in the final third, that'll be a big difference for them. Try to isolate those players in 1v1 situations.
Mike Noonan talked about the fact that he used a 3-5-2, and he really thinks that that's going to be designed also to help contain Clemson's forwards, because that's where the Tigers have been so prolific.
That's right.
And Providence attack style tends to be more from the sides, more from the angles. That's where most of their goals have been scored this season.
Now when you play with those two front runners, you're able to press a little bit easier, keep the ball on one side. Clemson was able to break pressure that time.
Mayaka, the freshman, a fabulous first season, the ACC Freshman of the Year. Friars on the pursuit. DeVoke, 2 defenders. Good job recovering that time, and you see the quickness displayed by Clemson defensively. Providence guided by Craig Stewart, 8th season, getting close to 90 wins. He was an assistant with the Friars before taking over, so when Mike Noonan, the Clemson coach, was at Brown in New Hampshire, they went against each other. There's familiarity from his standpoint with the Tigers head coach. A corner kick for a Providence team that's done that about as much as anyone in the country among the national leaders in that category. Headed away and nicely done. Robinson has it go off his leg. Now here come the Tigers. Robinson.
He's so dangerous in the open field. That's a good tackle.
Tristan Stoll was running step for step with Robinson. Pass ahead, pursuit to the middle. DeVoke just wide.
Really nicely done from Providence, and those are the moments they're going to have to be a little bit cleaner. Great mentality, getting in quickly in transition. DeVoke just pushes it wide.
Golden opportunity. George Marks, the Clemson goalkeeper,
I think
did his best to reach.
Clemson's a bit fortunate there. That didn't go in.
Mind you, this is a Providence team with 11 shutouts this season, most in program history, so they've been very good when they've scored first on the year.
Foul call on the Friars.
And a foul against the Friars. Saw Paulo Lima in for the Tigers. Looks like Grayson Barber was down and in some pain, but the sophomore out of Elgin near Columbia trying to walk it off in front of his team's bench. Mike Noonan, so as we noted, he's got a connection to the city of Providence. He guided Brown University there, also at New Hampshire, so they would face the Friars in non-conference play. But what a job he has done. He's got the Tigers once again pushing toward a potential landing in the College Cup, where he took the team all the way to the national title game in 2015.
Yeah, looking for another deep tournament run. Both these coaches are familiar with postseason play. As you mentioned, Providence was just in the College Cup in 2014. Got knocked out by UCLA in double overtime that year.
That was the lone trip for the Friars to the College Cup, but they're in their 10th NCAA appearance. Let's see what happened with Grayson Barber moments ago. As you see, battling that time with Paulo Lima of the Friars. Barber remains on the field. Had to go back the other way. Grayson Barber, that game winner last week, and think about it, his 10th goal. Mike Noonan says he's happy in a season when he has one guy who reaches 10 goals, and Barber getting to double figures, but still third on the team in that category.
Yeah, with 67 goals on the year for Clemson, it's a little bit of a three-headed monster with Robbie Robinson, Grayson Barber, and Camarnie Smith up there.
Barber flanking Mayaka. Ball stays in play, but it'll be chased down by Ramzi Wazmi of Providence. Friars, a team that, even though they finished third in the Big East, made it all the way to that conference's championship game. They lost to Georgetown, which is still alive in the NCAA tourney. Take another look at that infraction moments ago.
Yeah, Robinson just a little late on the tackle there.
Wazmi, a sophomore, one of the building blocks in their program. He no doubt will get to know Robinson and vice versa quite well as the night goes on, as they know they've got a handful in the Clemson junior forward.
Yeah, Pete, talking about the year Providence has had. Speaking to Coach Stewart before the game, one of the things that stood out me the most is they beat St. John's, a very good team, ranked 8th in the country, beat them twice in a span of 7 days. St. John's, of course, just knocked out of the tournament by the ACC champion Virginia.
The Friars, one of 4 Big East teams to make the NCAA field, along with that St. John's and Georgetown squad, and also Butler. And the fact that they got those big wins late gave them the feeling they might be able to land a national seed. So they were kind of disappointed when that didn't happen, even though they finished third in their league. Mbai with DeVoke right behind him.
Well, as we were talking, winning breeds confidence, and Providence able to go to Penn State and rally from 2-0 down to win 3-2 in overtime is just a sensational postseason result.
With the ball moments ago was Thiago Mendonca. There he is. He is one of the top offensive threats and a first-team All-Big East performer for a Providence squad that is in the top 25 in goals scored, coming in with 40, in fact tied for 21st, but they tend to be more by committee, whereas Clemson's big three, you know, are going to be the ones who attack. Mendonca.
And this is a guy for Clemson that's pulled the strings all year.
Wasmi, dangerous play with Robinson right behind him. Battling near midfield. Some nice footwork by Danny Griffin of the Friars. And the senior Griffin shows the good footwork and eventually gets it to his teammate Kevin Vang. And the Friars will try to set something up. Now they like to work a lot of set plays, as most teams do, but out of the look they give you, a 3-5-2, how do their set plays maybe look different than what Clemson does?
Well, they're able to bring those wide midfielders back. The three will typically stay home in the back.
And what we're seeing right now, it looked like they were trying to get a set off a midfielder. The acceleration, Robinson, the footwork, the attack, and the goal!
Robinson draws first blood for Clemson.
Robbie Robinson continues to amaze. Second goal in the NCAA tourney, his 17th of the season, and a quick strike by Clemson.
And that just shows how quickly this offense can turn it on. So lethal in a counterattack situation like that. Robinson gets a little space. He finds himself between that midfield block and that back line. Accelerates, clever little touch beyond, and just a toe poke in the corner.
His ability to change angles of his body, momentum, and also which foot he's going to deliver on. I mean, that's MLS caliber kind of talent when you can do that.
And I think he's a player that will go high in the draft this year, Pete. You can see it. He can do it with his right foot, his left foot. He sells it that he's going to take it to his right foot, and he just pulls it to the left and toe pokes it away.
Averaging just under 1 goal a game, 4th in the NCAA in that category, and that time getting in the way of the Friars once again.
And that pushes him to 17 goals on the year.
Just impressive work. He's still well off the Clemson single season mark, but that goes back to a different time, a different era, but still, with the caliber of the conference the Tigers play in, Robinson, the junior, coming back from such a disappointing sophomore year with injury issues, but boy, his head coach talks about the work ethic and how he is among the hardest workers he's ever had, and that is certainly shown in his abilities in a bounce-back season.
Well, and you said it there, Pete. It was a different era. It was not unheard of to have multiple players scoring 30 goals a year back in the 70s and 80s. It's just a different game now.
Okay. Out high and working with Tanner Dietrich, who the Tigers, of course, will work a lot of their sets through. Good job that time, but able to break away is Esmond Wolf. DeVoke, who missed a golden opportunity early on, and it just gives you an idea of the momentum. Providence had a great chance to move in front. And the locals like the foul called against DeVoke, but Robinson was able to deliver for Clemson. Take a look at that play moments ago with Mbai.
Mbai comes over, does well here. It's a little bit of a soft foul. I think the referee is just sending the message.
And that will come back as Robinson hit the deck.
Yeah, just off the ball there.
Ripped up.
Fernandez.
Yeah, Felipe Fernandez getting Paulo Lima.
Incidental, he just clips him as both players were running.
Entry kick by Kwasmi and Marks. Wow. Elevating. Wolf to the middle. Mayaka. Griffin losing his balance for the Friars. Mayaka coming away. Now Griffin. The kick. Nice deflection. Marks on a good save. Out front, DeVoe had a chance. Wolf will reset.
Dangerous moments there, but Clemson's able to get it cleared. Still not out of the woods.
Lima will kick it back out high where they'll reset. Feet ahead, Griffin, and chasing it down. Agron of Clemson also letting it go out. Take another look. George Marks active and elevating.
Yeah, outstanding punch. Lands awkwardly, gets on his feet again though.
Went right up over top. Looked like Tiago Mendonca.
Well, if you're Craig Stewart, you have to be pleased with the response of your team. Conceding a goal, but coming right down the other end and applying some serious pressure on this Clemson team.
Saw the accolades for George Marks as a starter. His first season in the starting role. 7 shutouts on the year for the Tigers sophomore out of Raleigh. Again on the attack, DeVoe. And great job that time. Agron on the recovery for Clemson.
Yeah, nicely done. Clemson needs to do a better job of winning that first ball. That was a free header from the restart.
DeVoe has had a hand in each of their goals during this NCAA tourney, an opening victory against New Jersey Tech.
Yeah, registering a goal and an assist in that game.
In a 2-0 victory, and then, of course, the winner in overtime against Penn State. And it goes out. It'll be Espen Wolf, the freshman from Copenhagen, Denmark, on the throw. And take a look at the defense by Agron.
Agron slides over, just takes the sting out of the shot there from DeVoe. Of course, Oscar Agron, one of these 2 freshmen for Clemson to really make an impact, being named to that all-freshman team, which is no small feat in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Agron from Sweden and a freshman for the Tigers, but mature beyond his years, as is Wolf, who's from Denmark, another Scandinavian country, and a very mature player, says Craig Stewart, the head coach of Providence. Justin Malou for the Tigers. Ahead and over the reach of Smith that time. Looked like he was setting up for the header. Goalkeeper Austin Avisa at his 3rd college. Started his career at Syracuse, then UConn, and now here he is at Providence. 9 shutouts on the season. But that will not be the case tonight for the goalkeeper for the Friars. We noted they take a bunch of shots just like the Tigers do. We've seen evidence of that so far in the early going. And a good job on the takeaway. Wolf, great recovery. Once again, Justin Malou doing a good job defending. Barber has it knocked away, and a foul will be called against the Friars. And I think they're going to get Tristan Stoll on that.
Looks like a little bit of a dead giveaway, always with the hands.
Yeah.
Keeps the hands off the back of Grayson Barber's back. There's no foul there. Tanner Dietrich, the Clemson captain, was having a little word with the referee saying, hey, that's 2 now.
Mike Noonan has to like the atmosphere, the student section out in force. They've returned for their final couple of weeks of classes from the Thanksgiving break. Keeping an eye on others of note in the NCAA tourney up in Winston-Salem, a match that got underway about an hour before this one, and Wake Forest has opened up the 1-0 lead on the Michigan Wolverines. The half will show you highlights of that and update you on other NCAA action. Virginia among the ACC teams that's already advanced to the round of 8.
Yeah, keeping an eye on those top 4 seeds. Virginia going through, Georgetown going through with the win over Louisville earlier today.
DeVoe quickly ahead to Wolf. After him by, couldn't keep it in. Nice move. Wolf thought about a pass. Then he makes it a little bit too late.
Nicely done from Providence. So quick in those transitional moments.
Shot by Griffin, and again, just wide to the left. Danny Griffin, senior out of Wethersfield, Connecticut. 48 shots coming in, 13 on goal, and just like his teammate, Trevor DeVoe, barely misses off the left post.
Yeah, he doesn't quite catch it solid. Pushes it a little wide. Looks like Marks had it covered at the end of the day. Nonetheless, good opportunity for Providence.
Oscar Agrin was there to defend for Clemson, but Griffin had a good look. Breeze continues to blow in the direction of the part of the field the Tiger headed. What a nice pass by Robinson. Fernandez unable to take advantage of it. Mayaka, and Bang able to knock it away. His teammate wasn't ready for it, but Griffin recovers. Wolf keeping it in, but behind DeVoe.
And we've seen a few players slip on this turf,
which they watered just before game time, but that's a customary thing that they do here at historic Riggs Field.
Coach Noonan likes to keep the tempo of the game high.
Robbie Robinson goal, the difference in our match. Feed by Barber. And nicely done on the deflection by Avisa, but it was almost disaster for the Providence goalkeeper. Nonetheless, Barber and the Tigers coming up empty.
Yeah, Avisa does a nice job here. He knows he's not going to be able to hold that. Just knocks it down, keeps it out of the middle.
Marty Smith is right near the goalkeeper.
Well, Pete, we thought both of these teams would come out attacking, and we've certainly gotten that, haven't we?
Absolutely. And as you noted, we saw Craig Stewart, the Providence coach. He's got to be happy with the fact his team, and mind you, the first goal of the match was scored less than 9 minutes in, but has to be happy with the spark his squad has shown. They were scoreless through a half and actually trailed 2-0 at Penn State last Sunday, so they were able to bounce back from that. And it's a squad that has a core of seniors. Boy, that time Lima, you could tell he was waiting for the whistle, might have gotten away with one of the hard contact.
I think when you get to this stage of the tournament, Sweet 16, there are no easy games. Oh, that's a giveaway there.
Wolf taking it away from Mbai. Only Agrin to beat with a goalkeeper ahead. Tried to feed it across.
He tried to pick out DeVoe, just a little heavy.
Lima. Now Wolf. Crafty footwork. Good job. Really nice job defending that time by Justin Malou.
Yeah, Esben Wolf, just a little heavy on the pass. He's been so good in the postseason here. Game winner against NJIT in the first round, and then a goal against Penn State in the second round.
So it'll be DeVoe on the throw-in. He had an assist in a match for Boston College against the Tigers a year ago. Headed nicely.
That's a dangerous long throw. Mbai gets fouled as he goes up to win the header, though.
Ramsey Quasmi, a sophomore out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia. He was trying to set up, and the hard contact against Mbai, and a really nice job heading it out of there for the Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. Long kick ahead by George Marks. Wolf looking for DeVoe.
George Marks aware, able to come out and clear that. Nicely done. Ooh.
That time, hard ricochet.
Yeah, Robinson pressing Avisa there. Good pressure from Robbie Robinson. Takes a gamble.
Dangerous play right there. And boy, Avisa's lucky that worked out well. Out of bounds it goes, and we'll get a substitution for Clemson before the throw-in. Alvaro Gomez checks in. George Marks, the Clemson goalkeeper, And he is having quite a first season as a starter in his sophomore campaign, and an active night so far.
Courageous punch there from George.
That time, the shot attempt by Griffin, and Mark's couple of saves so far in our match as we forge on here in the opening half. On the attack once again are the Friars. Nice footwork, DeVoke. Out high, Lima. And the Friars trying to set up that time, but Chris Roman has it knocked away.
A good 1v1 defending from Charlie Asensio there.
It'll be DeVoke on the throw-in. He hails from Midway, Massachusetts. So when he went to Providence for a grad year after playing his career at Boston College, not all that far from home. On the long throw into the box, knocked away. And battling Kamarni Smith. Griffin step for step. Robinson reverses as well as anyone in the nation. Feeding right Barber. Looking to pass, and he lost his balance.
Little surprised Grayson Barber didn't pull the trigger there in that moment. Looked like he had a good angle on Avisa.
Barber with 21 shots on goal this season, known for being aggressive. Tigers again tried to set something up that time, but to no avail. As you see, a nice turnout here at historic Riggs Field. And the stands below that camera position also pretty well filled. Barber, the deflection. And Dietrich that time. Boy, he was trying to push the ball to his left. And a foul called against the Tigers. Tanner Dietrich, the senior from Nashville.
Yeah, he knew he couldn't reach this. Likes to go in for the challenge tackle.
Hard contact that time. Looked like it was Quasmi, I believe, who hit the deck. Long kick ahead by Avisa. Header that time, won by and by. Mendonca pushing it off to the right. Roman.
Good step from Malou.
Yeah, it looked like Vang was trying to get it to his left and couldn't pull it off. Tigers defended well, but here come the Friars once again. And Wolf, great job with a reverse kick. Even better work by Gomez that time. Got it ahead to Smith, but it'll be run down by the Friars.
Lima's able to cut that out.
One of the top midfielders in the Big East. Lima getting it ahead.
Looks like we're going to have a free kick for Providence here.
Providence will have the free kick as you see DeVoke. So the Tigers keeping score and keeping it accurately. And the end fence behind the goal that Providence is currently defending. They got things accurate for this year. A 26 Sweet 16 for this storied program. A Clemson squad. And its 32nd NCAA tourney. 16 NCAA tourney, or 6 NCAA tourney match in the tourney run in the past 7 years. 85th NCAA tourney match all time for the Clemson program.
Well, I certainly know they'd like to update a couple more of these signs this year.
Wolf Marks with the grab off the left footer's free kick. Barber with Vang sprinting to his left. Now Robinson. Nice feed, Barber. See if Mayaka can run it down, he will. Tigers reset.
We talk a lot about George Marks' shot stopping ability, but you get a little glimpse there of his distribution. Quickly spring the counterattack with the long throw to Barber.
Good footwork, Malou. Dietrich. Wolf dogging in, eventually able to get it away. Griffin with it.
Yeah, good collective defending from Providence there.
Roman near the middle of the field. Mendonca had it. Eventually, Mendonca able to get away from there for the Tigers. Smith has it now. Mendonca looked in the direction of Robinson. Battling that time.
That's clever.
Nice idea.
Gomez just trying a little back heel to release Camarnie Smith.
Gomez trying to get it ahead to Robinson. And the goalkeeper for the Tigers marks as we're approaching 15 minutes remaining in our opening half of play here in Clemson, a Sweet 16 match. Clemson and Providence meeting for the third time all time. Last meeting was in the regular season of 2016 in August when the Tigers came away with a 2-1 victory. No common opponents this year, though over the years Providence, since Syracuse left the Big East, they've faced the Orange. And of course, have played Boston College on a regular basis. Barber is looking for Robinson, and then Lima flies in there.
Lima's so good in that role as playing the 6 for Providence. Cutting a lot of those passes out in the middle and final third.
DeVoe had it taken away from Mbai. Now the Tigers, Gomez, and a little bit of a cross up there.
Yeah, a little miscommunication with Grayson Barber. Gomez was looking for the run in behind.
Lima. A handful of players from Portugal on this team. And Roman will run it down in the corner.
Good patient defending from Clemson there.
Got it comes. Malcolm Duncan. With a bye closing.
You get a sense of that wind there, Pete. The ball just held up.
Straight into that wind that time. Malou for the Tigers was able to head it out of there. Here's Tristan Stoll to Wolf. Agron comes over for Clemson. Barber. Mendonca for Providence.
Nicely done.
Friars on the attack. Wolf will take it left side. Top of the box. Mendonca in the battle with Mendonca. And the foul will be called.
Yeah, good intelligent pass from Esben Wolf, though, cutting it back. Just a little much with the hands there.
Thiago Mendonca, like his teammate Paulo Lima, also from Portugal. Camarnie Smith for the Tigers. And the help came over defensively by Lima.
Yeah, good cover from Paulo Lima there. In these situations, Camarnie Smith so dangerous in 1v1 areas.
Smith and Malcolm Duncan. Now the Friars getting ready for the corner kicking. You saw Visa pushing his teammate a little bit. Robinson for the Tigers. Came in fourth in the NCAA with nearly 7 corner kicks per match. High with the wind behind and off the initial header. And then Wolf with a header.
Agron getting on the end of that, trying to turn it back in front of the face of goal.
Justin Malou getting ready for the throw-in. Tigers Adrian Nunez checking in, the senior out of San Jose, Costa Rica.
Also getting James Brighton checking in for Clemson.
And it'll go the other way.
Yeah, Fernandez just a hair off sides there.
We noted a very breezy day in the upstate of South Carolina, and usually here at Clemson, when the sun goes down, if it's been a windy day, it'll kind of die down. But that's not been the case because the wind continues through the darkness, and Providence going into the face of that wind in this opening half of play.
Yeah, we were calling for gusts, but it's been fairly steady. You can see it on a couple of those balls. If those balls aren't really driven, that wind is just going to grab it.
11 miles per hour out of the southwest, and as we continue to look at the 3 flagpoles diagonally to our right across the field, it is looking just as the wind reading shows. That time Griffin trying to force the action for Providence.
That's great defensive work. Adrian Nunez coming all the way back to help defend, tracking the runner.
Nunez now with the ball, trying to get it ahead to Robinson.
You can see
the offsides and Robinson clearly offsides.
Look at Nunez, one of the front runners, tracking all the way back. No foul there. Let's clear it.
I wonder if that's what Marks, his goalkeeper, wanted him to do, because you could see Marks kind of quickly saying something to his teammate after he kicked it away. Malou went for the header in a battle.
I think that's a good decision from Nunez. If you're ever unsure, it goes.
You see Davis Smith for the Friars battling with Malou. Tigers will get it back. Oscar Agrin, one of those freshmen who's come in and really added some flair to this team, along with Mayaka.
You can see Davis Smith pressing the ball there. Certainly Clemson will want to limit set pieces with Davis Smith on the field. 6'7".
Malou. Wolf to Mendonca. And ahead to the rather lanky Smith.
I have to give Providence a lot of credit. They're doing well to break that Clemson pressure.
Smith that time. And the foul.
Nunez as well here. Little nutmeg. Not able to get around.
On the opening. Justin Malou for the Tigers. Good job that time. Nice recovery by Mendonca. Wolf ahead. He intended to get the pass, but nothing doing. Good recovery on the defense. Gil Santos just checked in, and that pass was intended for him. On the Providence side, Nunez, Malou, and Dietrich. Really nice work by Duncan, the native of Toronto. And Mendonca to the middle of the field. Lima, bad pass.
Giveaway there.
No giveaway. Robinson making him pay. Tigers go on the attack. Fernandez looked to get it ahead to Robinson. Good recovery by Providence.
It's a good call by the assistant referee.
Yeah, the offside call.
Davis Smith came from an offside position to receive that ball.
The aggressive play that time. And Duncan just trying to deny the pass to Robinson, and comes away as a foul.
Robinson's pleading shoulder to shoulder. He may have an argument there.
You could see the sense of urgency on Duncan, the facial expression, but how he moved to not let Robinson get the ball in the open field.
Looked like initially it was shoulder to the back from Robinson, but in the replay, it looked clearly to be shoulder to shoulder challenge.
Quasmi, the long kick to his right. Santos gave it away, gets it back, feeds ahead, and marches right there. Robinson.
Yeah, Georgia Marks just looking to release Robinson.
Malcolm Duncan, good job to get to the ball first.
And you can see Clemson's made a little bit of an adaptation with the sub there on Nunez. You can see him starting to trickle inside a little bit more, help out in midfield. Providence in that 3-5-2 has had a lot of the ball in the midfield block. You can see Nunez tracking back on a number of occasions, tucking inside. That's a good adjustment from this Clemson staff.
Out of bounds off the foot of Roman. Mayaka. And Mbai for the Tigers, middle of the field. Ball headed nicely by Quamsi that time of Providence. Wake Forest in the 70th minute has now built a 2-0 lead in their Sweet 16 match. Demon Deacons going against the Michigan Wolverines in Winston-Salem in the second half. Feed ahead Gomez. Gets it back. Mayaka for Asensio. Now Dietrich. And Malou tried to get it ahead. Wolf, though, able to counter. Dangerous place. Mbai. Mbai now over to his left. Asensio in a battle with Roman. Dietrich feeding ahead. Shot just wide left.
Just wide, nicely taken from James Brighton, though. Little half chance. He didn't miss by much there, Pete.
29 shots and 15 shots on goal for Brighton entering the match. Native of Hilton Head Island. And was able to get Quamsi off balance.
James Brighton's had a good campaign this year. 6 goals and 2 assists. Scored in the ACC final. First goal against UVA. Clemson ultimately lost that match, but another one of these dangerous attacking players for Clemson.
Quasmi that time, it looked like he was playing to the outside of Brighton, who made the quick move. Kick across the midfield line by Aviza.
And Davis Smith coming from an offside position again. Really well coordinated from that Clemson back line.
Second time that call has happened. And Smith trying to quickly make amends. Tanner Dietrich for the Tigers. And knocked out of bounds. And Nunez trying to play the ball that time. As things get a little chillier, good idea to bring the extra cover. Mendonca, nice move near midfield that time. And trying to get the ball ahead to Santos, didn't work out.
And Mendonca and Lima have been very good tonight for Providence in midfield.
Nunez for Clemson. And the feed over to the right.
Just a little heavy on the final touch. Good idea from Nunez, though. He looks up, he finds a gap between that midfield block of Providence and the back line.
3 goals and 4 assists for Nunez this season. McNeil, you saw him in the background before, and he has checked in. Mayaka will get a rest. Mike Noonan, he and the Tigers once again in the NCAA tourney. And you see what he has been able to do, and more times than not, his team has pushed deep.
Now they're hoping for another deep tournament run. They certainly have a team that is capable of that this year.
His 13th NCAA match he's coaching in at Clemson. And a win tonight gets him 110 at the command of the Tigers, and this is 10th season and his 334th overall. He's in his 30th season as a head coach. Past that time, and the Tigers will throw it in once more.
That's a great first touch from Nunez.
Boy, great movement by Nunez, but eventually Lima comes away with it. Wolf. And McNeil. Santos for Providence. Looking towards Smith. And now Robinson. Teammate to his left. And Brighton will kick it across. Strong move, kick toward the center of the box and headed away.
Nunez good in a 1v1 situation there. Whips the ball in. Providence is forced to put it out for a corner.
Nunez that time with Wolf step for step. Wolf, such a valuable player to this team. Made the Big East Tourney All-Tournament squad. That's into the bottom left of your screen. Copenhagen, Denmark, and now Austin Avisa. Fifth-year senior goalkeeper with Robbie Robinson about to attempt the corner kick to his left. And Avisa will have the opportunity to kick it the other way. Robinson's goal just inside of 9 minutes into our match. The difference so far, the 17th of the season for the Clemson junior.
He'll certainly want that corner kick back. You have to give your team an opportunity to do something with it in that situation.
The fact that Robinson has shown to be ambidextrous with great accuracy and great power, and of course the ACC leader with 3 hat tricks, the offensive player of the year in the conference. Tigers nearly sweeping all of the individual awards this season in the ACC with their impressive campaign. They look to continue beyond tonight, a 17-2-1 record, a team picked to finish 5th in the conference, won the regular season crown. And that time, hard work on the left side by Nunez, looking to extend his career.
Again, Lima, good defensively. Just gets a piece of it there.
Lima, his first year eligible to play, even though he's a sophomore for Providence, had to sit out for NCAA reasons a year ago. Robinson's kick.
And that's a good service from Robinson.
And from the opposite corner, McNeil appropriately placing it.
Yeah, McNeil looked like he wanted to take that quickly.
Yeah, but Nunez will come over and do the honors. With the right foot. Headed by Lima. And ahead. Good work on the move. The Friars, Griffin, Mendonca. Crosses over, lefty shot on a goal.
Score with just 7 seconds left in the half.
Closing seconds of this opening half. Thiago Mendonca, 4th goal of the year.
What a counterattack.
And we talk about the Tigers' Robinson being ambidextrous in terms of his ability to kick. And that time, a beautiful move to his left foot.
Nicely played in. He just cuts it back, puts it on the left, finds the far corner. That's what you need to be an effective counterattacking team. Players willing to make unselfish forward runs. You can see the number of Friars getting forward in that situation.
Great job by Griffin to pick up the play and feed it over to his teammate to his right, Mendonca, their leader with 57 shots and second on their team with 18 shots on goal coming in. And he has his 4th goal of the season. And a little bit active in the celebration, to say the least, were the Friars. Looked like it was Quasme who hit the deck.
And we're right back to where we started.
Yes, indeed. Two teams that profile in terms of their numbers in very similar fashion. Craig Stewart and the Providence Friars attack a little bit differently than the Clemson Tigers, but Tiago Mendonca, the 5th-year senior from Faro, Portugal, a goal in the final 10 seconds of the opening half has us tied at 1 apiece in this Sweet 16 battle here at Clemson. A goal by Clemson's Robbie Robinson less than 10 minutes into the match, and then Tiago Mendonca for Providence with less than 10 seconds to go in the opening half. And that has us 1-1 here at the break at historic Riggs Field. And with Kevin Kennedy, Pete Hannity back with you. Two teams among the national leaders in shots. We've seen that, a very aggressive attacking style by both teams. I give Providence credit, other than the Robinson goal from right out in front. I think they've done a nice job when Clemson's gone on the attack, recovering and defending and denying.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for the mentality. Going down a goal on the road, fought back, got something before half, drew even.
And as for the Clemson team, George Marks, a couple of early saves, because Providence really a golden opportunity right out of the gate within the first couple of minutes of the match. Trevor DeVoe had a great look.
He did. What's interesting is Providence has been most successful when they're quick in transition, evidenced by the counterattack goal at the end there.
And Providence, a team that has had to withstand some adversity during the late season push they made to finish 3rd in the Big East. They're a veteran team. The Tigers have grown this season, a relatively young squad that has really grown up this year. It'll be a really interesting play in the second half to see the boys take over. And the numbers so far in the opening half, the Friars and Tigers among the top 6 in the nation in shots, and both pretty active in the first half of play.
Yeah, you're even for the most part. Providence has had a few more chances. Clemson, just that final pass in the attacking third needs to be a little bit cleaner and then pull the trigger.
We've seen some aggressive play, 12 combined fouls so far between these two teams. A Big East ACC battle for the folks on a Sunday night here at historic Riggs Field, and a 1-1 score at the break. Getting chillier by the minute, but the folks came well prepared here at historic Riggs Field as we're at halftime. Providence and Clemson tied 1-1. And Pete Hannity and Kevin Kennedy back with you. And, of course, this is a great time of the year if your team is still playing. You're keeping an eye on what else is going on in the NCAA tourney. Tigers trying to, again, push past the Sweet 16, but eyes on other parts of what's going on in the tournament, with some action having already been played this weekend on Saturday.
That's right. A couple of ACC teams in action. Everybody's looking to move on.
Now, on the Clemson side of the bracket, Tigers and Providence doing battle here while they get the winner of Stanford and Virginia Tech, which comes up at 8 o'clock. I would suppose to accommodate the folks on the West Coast so they can comfortably watch that late in the afternoon. Georgetown with a 5-1 win over Louisville. The Big East champs have advanced. Washington and Marshall on the other side of their sub-bracket. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of things, Virginia with a victory over St. John's from the Big East, SMU advancing past UCF. Santa Barbara has already reached the quarterfinal round, but what about Wake Forest and Michigan? They play late in the second half in Winston-Salem, and a Demon Deacons team trying to protect the home field. Kyle Holcomb, the early header.
Yeah, picks out a terrific ball there. Scores right in front of that home area, the congregation there at Wake Forest. And you get a penalty here.
Demon Deacons in the second half taking a 1-0 lead, and then the Bruno Lapa penalty kick and a 2-0 advantage. Michigan, though, trying to fight back as they would set up Derek Broche for the goal.
They pounce on the rebound there to make it 2-1.
So a 2-1 match at that point, but Holcomb looking for a second goal and an insurance tally with right about 7 minutes to go in regulation. Cutting across, he gets the stats. The Demon Deacons looking like they're in pretty good shape to advance to the next round as they have the late 2-goal lead on Michigan. We're getting ready for a second half. Should be quite compelling based on what we've seen so far here at historic Riggs Field. Teams are back on the field getting ready for our second half here at historic Riggs Field. A 1-1 match at the break. The Tigers and Providence Pete Hannity, Kevin Kennedy back with you. As you look at that opening half, Clemson dodged a bullet on the miss by Trevor DeVoe. Providence almost had a lead within the first couple of minutes, but then Robbie Robinson able to respond. And the Tigers, before we reached 10 minutes in, had themselves the early advantage.
Yeah, playing well. Providence very dangerous. Have a look here at Robbie Robinson. Feints to the right, just cuts it to the left. Toe poke to the corner with his right boot. Puts Clemson up 1-0.
You've got to respect his left foot, and that's exactly what Avisa, the Providence goalkeeper, was doing, and Robinson burned him from the right. Tigers playing some good defense. Of course, Malik Mbai back in action this week after having to sit out last week.
Yeah, and here's his center back partner, Oscar Agger, making a good tackle.
You see Justin Malou. How much does having Mbai back help a guy like Malou?
Well, it's just a confidence builder. He's been the leader at the back, senior.
Good recovery that time in front of the goal by the Tigers. And then Chris Roman's feed to the middle to Griffin. And you see a really nice job by Nunez of the Tigers. Now, as for Providence, inside of a half a minute to go, in fact, inside of 10 seconds remaining when the goal was delivered for the Friars by Thiago Mendonca.
Yeah, just a textbook counterattack. That resulted from a Clemson corner kick. They're able to get it clear, race down to the other end, and draw even right before the half.
And as a result, that goal by Mendonca, his 4th of the season, and a 1-1 match as we get ready for our second half of play. And for Providence, their 41st goal of the year. Not bad as a Friars team is playing its 23rd match of the season, but then you look across, and when Robinson scored, that was Clemson's 68th of the season. It gives you an idea as to just where things stand with how prolific the offense that the Tiger faithful have watched here at Riggs Field and on the road during this 2019 campaign. George Marks, in his first season as a starter, suffice it to say, getting ready for the biggest half of his campaign. He's trying to improve to 16-2-1 of the year, and Malik Mbai. And this Clemson squad, which saw that late goal by Providence impact what was a very solid opening half of play defensively, well, they will now try to deny the Friars any more opportunities. Wake Forest ended up winning that match we showed you highlights of, so they move on to the Elite Eight. Clemson would love to join them and the Virginia Cavaliers, among others, in that next round.
Yeah, Wake Forest trying to take another step, march to that All-ACC Final Four if they can get there against Virginia.
Brighton off the feed from Dietrich. James Brighton, he'll feed over to the right. Barber. Grayson Barber scored from right around there to win it for the Tigers last week in overtime. But a good job by Avisa of Providence to read the play.
Yeah, and psychologically, that's the response that Coach Noonan will want for his team. Come out, take an early chance. Avisa holds that well.
Coming into the match, 53 saves on the season for Avisa and 22 games. And on the night, it's his second save, 3 so far for the Tigers' Marks. DeVoe on the throw-in. Barnes will kick it back. Crosby over to his left. And there's Marks for Clemson.
Providence playing that high line, inviting George Marks to kick rather than allowing Clemson to play out of the back.
2 of the past 3 Clemson games decided by a goal. Has been Wolf.
As we mentioned earlier, Pete, both of these teams took it to overtime last round. I think this game has more goals in it, though.
Wolf was trying to get it to his teammate in the middle of the field, Mayaka. And now Brighton begins on the field to start the second half. Dietrich trying to work around Vang that time. Here's Mayaka. So quick when he receives the ball, but that time has it knocked away.
Really clever. That's good defending from Malcolm Duncan there. Just applying enough pressure. Ball got away from Mayaka slightly.
Asensio for Clemson. Nunez. And really, Chris Roman had just come over and was on the ground. And happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Terrific first touch from Nunez there to put it beyond him. Just dinks it over him.
So the ball being set, as you see, and
Felipe Fernandez over this.
It'll be Fernandez. Sophomore from Ecuador. With the right foot in front of the net. Header attempt that time, and it did not work.
And we're going to see a little contact here from Mbai on Avisa.
As you see, Mbai with Mendonca in front of him, and Avisa, the goalkeeper, right behind.
Just climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
We're crawling up Mendonca's back.
Mbai at 6 feet, trying to go over top of the fellow 6-footer Mendonca. And Wolf realizes he can't run it down. Nice idea on the kick ahead that time, but it'll go back Providence's way.
Fernandez just trying to find Grayson Barber on the little flick there.
Providence with 16 wins coming into this match has matched the best in program history in a single season. It's pretty impressive when you consider they had a team a few years back go to the College Cup. Mendonca kicks it across field. Dietrich denied for the Tigers. We'll get another throw in. Roman of the Friars. Nunez comes over. And the ball off Griffin. Similar looking personnel on the field for Clemson to start the second half as we saw at the end of the first half.
Absolutely. You don't see Robbie Robinson out there, but Coach Noonan has a little bit of luxury, has a number of front runners he can deploy. He's able to give guys a breather when he needs to.
And Avisa will get ready to kick it away. Austin Avisa from Medway, Pennsylvania, 15-6 this season. Providence, interestingly, one of the few teams in the nation without a tie this year. You see Robinson trying to keep warm over on the Clemson sideline. 16-6-0 coming in. Tigers begin the night 17-2-1. Asensio getting it back from Fernandez, and now Agren. Asensio looking to set the kick, and with his left foot gets it to Dietrich. Nunez trying to get it ahead to Fernandez. You saw the contact, but again, we'll see Avisa with the opportunity to kick it away. Felipe Fernandez, one of those who's come in and elevated his game as a sophomore this season.
Yeah, and that's good movement there. He's coming out of midfield. He penetrates that Providence back line off the ball. Nunez tries to pick him out. Again, Lima's there to cut it out.
Paulo Lima, second team All Big East performer, midfielder, and a sophomore from Portugal. That time, you saw Vang get the best of Fernandez.
Clemson players asking for a little communication from the referee there. Providence kicked it away. Clemson wanted to restart it quickly in that moment.
Mike Noonan expressing his displeasure from the sideline, and clearly you see the hard contact by Vang.
A little hip check on Fernandez.
Mike Noonan heading back toward the Clemson bench after he was standing right at the midfield line and protesting what he had seen happen. So Oscar Agren gets it ahead to Brighton, and the bad pass initially to Fernandez. Dietrich for the Tigers. Here's Fernandez. Aggressively gets past Mendonca from out front. Fernandez going to fire a shot wide of the right post.
Fernandez is appealing for a little touch from Avisa, but I don't think Avisa got a piece of it.
25 shots this season coming in. Felipe Fernandez.
Cuts inside, puts it on his right foot. He didn't miss by much, Pete.
The momentum he was looking for. Avisa's kick ahead with now the wind at his back, which obviously wasn't the case in the opening half, with about a 10 or 11 mile breeze blowing constantly from the right to left as you watch.
Yeah, I think you've seen the Providence field players adjust to that, looking for where that kick from Avisa is going to land. A little bit different.
59 degrees, but I think the folks in the stands would tell you it feels a little cooler than that as we continue into the evening on this 1st of December. And there was a separate hot chocolate stand right next to the concession stands here at historic Weeks Field. They're thinking of everything, and no doubt sales have been good, if not brisk, like the wind that's been swirling throughout this match. And we say it's blowing from your right to left. At times it actually kind of angles more toward the lower left of your screen. That'll go out of bounds. We'll get the throw in. Malou and Fernandez, who had that shot moments ago, and from behind, Vang of Providence.
Just clipped a little bit there. Vang again, that's 2 in quick succession. We'll need to be careful.
Fernandez looking to get it ahead. Not a bad idea. Littlefield Dietrich with Mendonca, now Wolf. And Wolf just past Griffin, who will try to run it down. Lima and Dietrich battling. And it goes back to Avisa. Griffin, the header.
That's a good flick on from Griffin.
DeVoke. Dietrich stride for stride with him. And there's the whistle as you saw DeVoke hit the deck.
Foul call on Tigers.
Aggressive play, or was that Agrin actually?
Agrin looked like he was going shoulder to shoulder there.
Agrin stride for stride with the grad student DeVoke, and the freshman Agrin running right with him.
Nice flick on here from Danny Griffin, releasing DeVoke.
Oscar Agrin, the contact, and keep in mind at halftime they again watered the field, and it looked like off of that contact DeVoke actually slipped before he tumbled. Just have to wonder if the wet field might be some cause for that.
Yep. Dangerous situation here for Clemson. A good opportunity for Providence.
Espen Wolf, the freshman from Denmark. A footer for Providence. And headed nicely by Dietrich. And ahead, here come the Tigers on the attack. Grayson Barber. Through 2 Providence defenders, doesn't get the call. Other end.
Right down the other end.
And DeVoke with Wolf. Looks like they both got a little bit hung up. Good job by Agrin of the Tigers.
Again, Paulo Lima on the ball.
Mendonca back out high. Duncan. Mendonca to Griffin. They're trying to work something out, but Mendonca couldn't get ahead. Grayson Barber with Roman to his left and Vang to his right, and
looking for the call. Referee says there's nothing there.
He certainly pleaded his case. I'll tell you, he didn't hold anything back.
Well, it looked like he cut in between 2 Providence players and just ran out of space there. Could have gone either way.
Barber plays at a very fast gear. Not like his teammate Robinson Brighton sees Lima get it back to a defender.
Yeah, extremely high work rate on both sides of the ball.
DeVoke with Mbai. Stoll. And it goes out off Brighton. Wolf on the throw-in. Gets it back. Midfield flip that time, and Barber has it knocked away, and he'll look to throw it in quickly, but wait.
Now we'll just tack on the frustration.
It'll go the way of Wolf and the Friars, and Wolf throwing ahead. Griffin in a battle with Malou, and now Mayaka for Clemson. Good quick move.
Yeah, Mayaka's had a quiet game.
I was going to say, he seemed much more active last week in that.
He's playing in a deeper role this evening than we've usually seen. He's extremely dangerous in that attacking third. He just hasn't been able to get on the ball in the attacking third tonight. You can see him coming back, collecting the ball off the back four.
Active work by Fernandez. Had that shot earlier go right. Dietrich, Mayaka. Saw the quick move by Mayaka. Dietrich. The Tigers attack. Knocked away Avisa. Beautiful job denying the shot by Barber.
And Barber again forcing the issue there. It's nice work from Clemson, though. We talked about Mayaka getting in the final third. He's instrumental in that build-up.
Agrin after the ball got by Mbai. Here come the Friars. DeVoke. And a good job defending that time.
Yeah, Agrin had his hands full. He did extremely well there. Bought enough time, get a little help.
Good job to break the momentum on the ball by Asensio.
Well,
Nunez. Spending that time. Fang. Asensio.
Well, Pete, I'll say this. A lot of times you get to this stage of the tournament, teams will play not to lose, but both of these teams certainly with an attacking mentality tonight.
I'm not so sure that stiff wind of about 11 miles an hour has really been a factor. Top of the box, feed Barber. He loves to attack from right of the goal. Denied that time, Stoll.
That's going to stay in.
And Stoll and Barber.
Foul called on the Tigers.
And Grayson Barber, more reason to be frustrated.
Let's see Barber in here.
Great job by Avisa. We told you, 53 saves entering. Agrin.
He's able to toe poke that away, and Mbai's there to clean it up.
Grayson Barber, it's been a
Well, it's certainly getting some freedom on where the ball is placed there. He's 15 yards off the end line.
very frustrating first 15 minutes or so of the second half for the sophomore from Elgin.
I think we're going to see our first card there. It's the second time they've thrown the ball away to stop a quick restart.
And the Friars, indeed, the yellow card issued. And it's against one of the more experienced Friars, a senior, Danny Griffin.
I think that's a good decision by the referee.
So the yellow card issued as a team. 23rd this season against the Friars, their opponents with 31. So Griffin, the infraction.
You can just see he's throwing the ball away there so Clemson can't restart quickly.
Asensio crossing over, feed out high, Brighton. Now Mayaka trying to deliver. Nunez feeds to the box for Barber, but good job defending once again.
Good clearance.
I believe that was Stoll who now defends on Barber. Malou.
just couldn't quite cut that back.
Been an active early part of the second half for the goalkeeper, Austin Avisa of Providence. And Malou that time just unable to get there.
Yeah, Barber slipped him through. The ball's a little heavy. Good clearance there from Stoll.
Really nice job by Kristen Stoll. Roman attempted to keep it in play and was unable to, so we'll see Asensio with the throw-in. Mbai. And Wolf able to clear ahead.
Mbai doing a good job just shepherding that ball out of bounds.
Off the throw-in, Malou. Ahead it comes to Asensio, and Agrin will get it back.
Christopher Roman doing a great job for Providence there, coming over to apply pressure quickly, not letting Charlie Asensio play forward.
Barber past Lima, but Friars able to recover. Now Malou. Mayaka. Dietrich middle. Brighton. Barber now. Mayaka. Feeds nicely to his left. The set by Fernandez. The header by Barber. And just above the goal. Nice opportunity that time for Grayson Barber. He was hoping for more late heroics in an NCAA tourney match.
And you can see how instrumental Mayaka is when he's on the ball. He draws the attention. It frees Nunez for the cross. It's a tough header to hit when you're backpedaling, trying to get over the ball. Those are the moments we talked about, though, getting Mayaka on the ball in the final third for Clemson.
So, once again, Austin Avisa sees the action right out in front, getting ready to run into it.
Well, we talked about the mental aspect for Providence, battling back after conceding early. You have to be impressed with Clemson's mentality to start the second half. They've really come out and applied a lot of good pressure on Providence.
Roman battling with Nunez that time, and now Chris Roman getting ready to throw it in for the Friars. Having a chat with David DeMello, one of his assistant coaches. Mayaka. And Barber looking to feed ahead for Malou, and a nice job. Wolf defending. You saw Wolf hit the deck. Now Mayaka. Nunez. Dietrich. Mayaka tried to feed ahead, and good idea, but
Mayaka there just trying to a little deft little ball over the top to release Brighton. You'd like to see him go ahead and pull the trigger in that moment.
Brighton with Tristan Stoll right there. Really never had a chance with the way the ball was fed.
And the pass is just a little heavy. Lovely idea, though.
Craig Stewart in his 8th season. Also previously head coach at Franklin Pierce, a small school in New Hampshire. Looked like Nunez got ahead on it for the Tigers. Lima and Mayaka then battling and hitting the deck hard. Kevin Vang.
Good challenge from Brighton there.
Brighton and Lima, and then off to our left. Well, actually, Brighton, the whistle, it was Vang, though, after the ball deflected off of those two. Marks for Clemson as we return to live action under 25 minutes to go in regulation. Of course, we were 1-1 at the end of 2 halves last week when Clemson got the golden goal from Barber to knock off Charlotte and move on.
Center Fisher just gives George Marks a little warning. Play quicker.
Brighton is knocked away. Gil Santos, who just checked back on, was active. Vang battling with Dietrich, now Mayaka for Clemson.
Nice little combination play with Barber there.
Dietrich
That's
ahead.
a good ball.
Nunez. Angle left side, feeds to the middle and deflected. Good job on the recovery.
You can really see Clemson's midfield growing into the game here.
Asensio. Dietrich, Barber, Lima was able to knock it away, then Wolf. Alou the feed toward the middle. He hits the deck. And Bai will watch it go out of bounds. And Bai with his teammate Dietrich back there, but instead will simply get it to Marks. Now Agron for Clemson. See number 6 in the middle of the field, though, Tanner Dietrich, who head coach Mike Noonan notes he really has had his role defined this year. Last year, because of all the injuries they had, he kind of had to move all over the place. But that's been a really maybe an underplayed story on this year's team.
Well, he provides exceptional leadership, but also Dietrich is what I would refer to as a bit of a utility player. He can play anywhere. You can put him at center back, outside back, holding mid, attacking mid. He can do a little bit of everything. Just a solid competitor mentality.
Not going to battle with Santos that time, who had the header. Much to the dismay of the...
Yeah, Fernandez looked like he went straight up there.
You see Dietrich not happy with that call.
I'll call on the Tigers.
Fernandez in that battle and coming right down on...
It's called for going just over the back a little bit.
I believe it was Stoll who he came down on. Actually, it might have been Kwasmi. And Stoll who gets it ahead, but good job defending that time. Now Kwasmi, the deflection out of bounds. Asensio. Brighton was Stoll. And ahead it goes. Santos. Good scrappy play. Asensio. And he can't believe it.
He goes from calling every little bit of contact, a little jersey pull there. That's the right decision.
Santos, a sophomore from Parade, Portugal. We noted a couple of others on this team who play key roles. Lima and Mendonca, also from that Western European nation. Santos, the right foot. Top of the box. And Griffin trying to get it ahead for DeVoe.
Not a bad idea. It looked like the offsides flag was going to stay down.
Mendonca checks back in. Vang will get a rest. Thiago Mendonca, fifth-year senior, trying to extend his career with the Friars. Marks kicking into the wind. Mendonca, Griffin for Providence. Good job by Agrin. And Mbai will see his goalkeeper come over and take it.
And Providence continue to play that high line, forcing Marks to kick long so they can challenge for the 50-50s. Pick up the second balls like that.
Sensio for Clemson. Fernandez. Brighton toward Mendonca in the middle of the field, but good scrappy work that time by Griffin. Griffin racing ahead. And Mendonca the whistle.
And I think we're going to see a yellow there.
And we will see the yellow, so. Philip Mendonca, ACC Freshman of the Year. Take another look. And you see him grab the left shoulder.
Easy decision for the referee. The yellow isn't for the severity of it. It's more situational. Griffin's making an attacking run in the final third.
And looked like Mendonca, though, was reaching out just as Griffin was a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
And so I'm not so sure that even without the contact, if Griffin would have been able to continue with his attack, at least the manner in which it appeared he was trying to carry it out. Santos now.
I think this is a bit long to have a look on goal.
And with the wind behind, and maybe if you were trying to get it through two uprights, that would have been the right play, but way too strong.
No trouble for Marks there.
Santos trying for his first goal of the year, and again, a different kind of football is what that had the look.
And you could tell the way he struck that, he was looking to shape that around the wall. Just got under it a bit. Wind carried it.
And Agrin.
And you can see that in that moment, Providence was looking to force Clemson to play long. They played short. Providence is able to cause some difficulty for Clemson playing out of the back.
They were looking to make them play long in what way?
When Clemson has the ball and they're on the restarts like that, if they're able to build the ball and keep possession, Providence would rather make them play long from a goal kick, try to force a 50-50. They've been very good in the air, winning that first ball, knocking down the second ball.
So you saw the Tigers' strategy. And Mbai. Dietrich. And it goes to Wolf. Middle of the field. He was trying to get it to Mendonca. Good
Nice
job
right
defending.
out by Agrin.
Now the Tigers on the attack. Camarney Smith is checked back in. He'll get it from Brighton. Smith, second on the team in goals, looking for the assist. Good idea that time, but Dietrich unable to convert.
Yeah, it looked like Tanner Dietrich was going for the diving header, couldn't quite reach it.
First, the defense by the freshman Agrin.
Yeah, keeps the ball off Mendoza's foot, which is always good for Clemson.
And I say Dietrich, but it looked like maybe Nunez might have gotten his right foot on that.
Dietrich couldn't quite reach it, fell to Nunez.
Nunez seeing extended time this week compared to the opening NCAA tourney battle for the Tigers last Sunday. So Robinson, we noted he was over on the bench staying warm, but the Tigers' top threat and the player who owns the lone goal will check in. Brighton will get a breather. And Robinson now with fresh legs, and you know the motor he has, and that's
a scary prospect with 15 minutes remaining here. It's good defending from Asensio.
Asensio keeping it in play, and Santos.
It's going to be a handball on Santos.
The handball on Santos. Kick ahead by Agrin for Robinson. Robinson now with Lima keeping it within his arm's reach. And that time Duncan with Mendonca getting a foot on it. Now Malou. Clemson looking to break through defenders. With the attention Robinson gets, you can tell that Craig Stewart and the foul against Clemson. But Craig Stewart, you can tell, his team probably got sick during the Thanksgiving holiday of hearing about Robinson and his explosion near the ball.
Yeah, just extreme change of pace there. Looked like it was the Robinson foul on Stoll there.
25 combined fouls. The Tigers have 14 of them. Tigers trying to get back to a 9th College Cup, but work to be done here simply to move on to the quarterfinal round. And Mendonca with his teammate Wolf, and it'll be Wolf.
In the Providence, number 19, Kevin Vang.
Vang got a very short breather. He'll check back onto the pitch. The sophomore out of Cranston, Rhode Island, played for a really good high school program at Cranston East High. And grew up just a short drive from the Providence campus. And Trevor DeVoe, one of their leaders.
I think that's a substitution Clemson will welcome.
Yeah.
DeVoe has been a handful tonight.
Go out of bounds. Friars another opportunity with Wolf getting ready for the throw-in. Mendonca scored inside of 10 seconds remaining in the opening half, and another infraction will go against Clemson. As Nunez came over and was a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, tough to see the call there. Perhaps it was an initial foul on Fernandez. I didn't see much on Nunez in that moment.
Santos stood over the ball. Now you'll see him break away toward the top of the box. It'll be the very talented freshman who plays well beyond his years out of Copenhagen, Denmark, Espen Wolf. With the left foot.
That's a good service.
Right of the goal.
It's going to be offsides.
And the offsides is the call. Fourth time on the evening that Providence has been called for offsides. But right back at it, the Friars, and that time Mendonca was expecting, I think, Santos to cut to his left, and Santos didn't get that message. Marks the Tigers' sophomore goalkeeper from Raleigh. As we're under 12 minutes to go in regulation. Griffin to his left, but a nice header by and by. Nunez the throw-in.
Fernandez couldn't quite get on the end of that. Cut out by Danny Griffin.
Griffin that time nicely working away. Marks will run it down. You mentioned Mayaka really hasn't been a factor. A little bit ago we did see him have an opportunity to feed a ball ahead, a little too strong in the pass, and I wonder if in the late stages he could be a factor. Maybe it'll be his fellow freshman Agrin who hits the turf. Agrin, the Tigers want to go. Fernandez. Robinson. Dietrich trying to catch up to it, and it's knocked away by Stoll.
Yeah, it's great creativity in the final third there from Clemson.
Malou. Dietrich. And Dietrich with the yellow card against him. So a couple of yellow cards issued against the Tigers here over the past few minutes on our game clock.
Yeah, it looks like the ball just squirted away from him a little bit. Knows he's going to be late.
Mendonca, the one who went down. Tigers now 36 yellow cards on the season. Their opponents with 46.
I'm not sure about a yellow card there, Pete.
I think we've seen similar type plays earlier in the match.
We have. I think it's an accumulation of everything that's gone on in the match. Center officials trying to keep it under control. Didn't seem like a yellow card offense to me.
Lima tried to feed his teammate. It goes out. Quick throw in Nunez as Stoll couldn't catch up to that.
Nunez taking a little liberty with where the ball is going to be restarted.
It'll be Malou for the Tigers, a junior from Senegal. Malou, Mbai, and Mayaka all finish up their high school days at the Monteverde Prep near Orlando, and that is operated by a Clemson alum, Mike Potempa, who is former Tiger assistant and has done a fabulous job building that program and producing some really talented players, many of whom come overseas to get acclimated to the States before they go on to the college game.
And you can just see those NCAA tournament teams are littered with those graduates of that academy.
And pretty much started from scratch by Potemka, one of his proud alums, Mayaka in traffic.
Oh my, danger here.
Right to the goal, Mayaka. You saw the defense collapse. Wolf.
That's very good defending from Providence. Just keep moving your feet. Don't commit a foul.
Oh, that time, Santos unable to control. Off the inbound, Malou. Dietrich gets it back to him.
Clemson changing the point of attack quickly.
Alvaro Gomez back on the field. And by over to Malou. Under 9 minutes to go in regulation. Robinson from behind. Good job.
Kevin Wang coming back there defending.
Griffin over to Wolf. Friars trying to attack. And I thought about kicking it to Marks, but there was Santos, so instead, Tigers work in the middle of the field. Smith. Step for step with him was Roman. Mendonca back to his teammate Duncan, who good job coming over, but I believe Smith might have
looks like
had
it's going to be a handball.
Stoll aggressively with the tackle on Grayson Barber, who's had that expression on his face often here in the second half.
Well, Barber's a competitor. You can see it in the look in his eye.
Unhappy with some of the calls he thinks should have been made. Santos trying to battle away from defenders. Push back to Marks, runs into it, and again kicking into about an 11-mile-an-hour wind. Lima. And Malou, good job to knock it away from Mendonca. Robinson. Lima and Mayaka.
Lima again for Providence.
Lima now on the attack. Feeds to his right, firing, and just a bit high on that shot attempt. Griffin.
Yeah, Danny Griffin forcing the save from George Marks there.
And there is a player down, and
looks like that's Lima. You can see here he's got the decoy run, pulling Asensio wide. Creates enough space for him to pull the trigger.
Marks gets a hand on it, and I think that was necessary to deny the score. It might have been able to hit the crossbar and bounce in. Another save on the night for the Clemson goalkeeper. He now has 4. We'll get a corner kick up coming now from Gil Santos, a sophomore, with the right foot in front of that Clemson goal. And Marks, and then the return fire, and it would not be a second goal on the night for Mendonca.
It fell awkwardly for Mayaka. He couldn't quite get it cleared.
And Mayaka so polished, so smooth, but again, his head coach says he still has to refine things. What a nice idea by Robinson, just a bit behind Smith. Now Asensio. Mayaka and Dietrich. On the sprint was Malou, Dietrich. Barber. And I think he got crossed up with Dietrich, perhaps, and it goes off of Tanner Dietrich.
He's looking for Dietrich to make that penetrating run.
And there's under 6 minutes to go, and Tanner Dietrich been active tonight as the Tiger senior from Nashville, one of the team captains. Nunez returns, and Camarney Smith will get a breather. And again, the luxury you have, even though Nunez not as prolific scoring goals this year as a season ago, but like Noonan, knowing he's got enough firepower out there that he can have Smith, who has 13 goals on the season, second on the team, head to the bench.
And we see Trevor DeVoe check back in for Providence as well.
Robinson, Lima defends. Robinson and Lima, and it'll go against Robinson.
Foul call on Tigers.
Lima just so strong, so tough on the ball. Draws the contact.
6'1", 170, and Robinson battling with him. 6'2", 170. 18th foul in the match for the Tigers, 12 so far for the Friars. Too strong on the kick.
He just pumps that forward. Good decision from him by let that go.
And by. In the middle of the field for Mayaka. This stage of the match, as we're under 4.5 to play, Mayaka is someone you want around the ball quite a bit. Doesn't hurt to have Robinson with it either.
Clever little back heel.
Yeah, good job getting it back to Asensio. Through the legs of Barber. And Stoll has it knocked away from him by Mayaka. Mayaka on the attack. Lima dogs him. Dietrich to the middle. Shot by Barber, tried for, and knocked away. Good job by Kwamzi.
Kwamzi with the block there on Barber's shot.
And the call against the Tigers once more.
That's terrific build-up play, though, from Clemson.
And you see Dietrich with an opportunity as Wolf closed, and then, boy, what a great job by Ramsey Kwamzi, the sophomore. Kwamzi, the native of just outside of Philadelphia, Lansdale, Pennsylvania. Lima, and DeVoe unable to catch up to that as Marks got to it.
Marks reading the situation well there, coming off his line, collect that comfortably.
Lima, Agrin, Asensio now. Good battle. And Nunez able to get away from Duncan. Now Robinson, he can attack from either side with either foot from behind. He hits the deck and the whistle, and there you go.
I think we're going to see a yellow card there as well.
Little too aggressive by Malcolm Duncan, one of their leaders,
and that's
at the back, and the junior from Toronto.
And that's clever from Robinson. I think his last touch got away from him a bit, so he drew the contact, left his leg in there. You can see the last touch is a little bit heavy.
Key moment now with under 3 minutes to play. First yellow card issued to Duncan. And for Providence, their second, both coming here in the second half.
We'll see if Robinson has a go here, try to shape it in that near corner.
Robinson right foot and well high of the crossbar. You saw Avisa barely even leaving his feet. So he has the wind in his face.
It's gonna pick the ball up and pull it higher. Looked like he struck it well.
Almost from the time the ball left the foot of Robinson, Avisa starts to celebrate. He could tell it was going to be too strong.
Bell was going high.
11-10 in shots. Tigers have one more than Providence. And a missed opportunity there for the Friars. We saw Providence score the tying goal with less than 10 seconds to go before the intermission, after Robbie Robinson had given Clemson a lead inside of the first 9 minutes of our match. And Robinson going up high that time.
Oh my.
And the foul will be called. That time it was Robinson and Duncan again, and this time Duncan gets the best of Robinson.
It looked like initially that was a foul on Robinson when he contested the first header.
Duncan, the fact that he fell backward,
I'm not sure what the call is there.
that's probably what induced the call. But boy, that just looked like a couple of guys making a play on the ball.
Robinson established his position, went straight up.
And Mike Noonan, as we come up on a minute to play in regulation, recognizing this is going to be a second straight overtime match in NCAA tourney play for his team. Lima and Providence would love to have something to say about that. Roman with Mayaka from behind. Santos. In the corner, Roman. Tigers defending nicely there.
I think we're going to see a long throw from Trevor DeVoke here.
So DeVoke has been a key player for them, especially down the stretch. A team that played for the Big East Championship, won its opening NCAA tourney game in shutout fashion against New Jersey Tech 2-0, and then came back from 2 down and won in overtime last week against Penn State. The long throw in front of the net, the shot wide right.
Tense moments there for Clemson.
And that's how regulation will come to an end. A late opportunity for the Friars. They converted such to close out the opening half. But inside of 10 seconds remaining in our second half, the shot attempt just wide. Chris Roman was going for the winner.
A lot of traffic there. He puts it just wide.
So we head to overtime, where Providence is 3-0 this season. The Clemson Tigers 2-1-1. Under the moon and stars on a clear, cool night here in Clemson, South Carolina, we get ready for more soccer. A second straight overtime game in this NCAA tourney for both teams. The Tigers and Providence Friars all even at one apiece after regulation. Pete Hannity, Kevin Kennedy with you. Interesting 90 minutes of soccer in which we saw a flurry of activity around the net. Only a goal to show for it on either side in the opening half. And in the second half, I think a great job by the defenses to recover.
Yeah, a very open game. Two attacking teams, both going for the win. No one looking to settle and play for a tie or overtime. Entertaining soccer.
Show you how we got here on a Clemson team that is the national leader in so many offensive categories, including goals scored, with one of the very best in the land, Robbie Robinson, less than 10 minutes in.
Yeah, terrific goal there. He's able to put it on his right foot, toe poke it home.
Robinson is 17th goal of the campaign. Tigers had some other opportunities as the match unfolded in regulation.
Yeah, here's Felipe Fernandez just putting it wide.
Opportunity on the header by Grayson Barber, the hero last week in overtime. And then Nunez coming over for Clemson, almost able to convert, but unable to get that tally. As for Providence, under 10 seconds to go in the opening half, they had a breakaway finished by Thiago Mendonca.
Yeah, great individual goal there with 7 seconds left on the clock in the first half. Here's another one. Ebson Wolf just plays it a little bit long.
Free kick by Gil Santos later in the second half. Could not convert. Danny Griffin had an opportunity. And then a late throw-in with under 10 seconds to go, but Chris Roman's shot just wide of the right post. And as a result, we go to overtime. And, well, the winner will have sudden victory. 2 10-minute periods. But, of course, a goal would win it. And you see the re-entry rules and that kind of thing. We talked at the top of the telecast. Each team had to persevere last week to advance. And here they are now, attempting to make their move to the next round, the round of 8. Friars, in a season in which they haven't had a tie, with 3 overtime games all won. You saw the opponents. Robbie Robinson, the Tigers, trying for a 3rd win in overtime this year, playing in their 5th overtime match on the season.
Of course, Pete, both of these teams, we saw the little information there. Providence winning on the road against Penn State in overtime. Clemson's 2nd round victory over UNC Charlotte here at home, 2-1 in overtime.
DeVoe will throw it in. George Marks and Austin Avisa are goalkeepers for Clemson and Providence, respectively. Busy evenings. Appropriately during regulation, each team with 11 shots. Providence had 5 shots on goal, the Tigers with 4.
Oscar Agron on both of the clearances there for Clemson. Looks like it's going to be another long throw from Trevor DeVoe.
Think about how players like Agron and Mayaka are able to grow at this stage of the season. And likewise on the other side for folks like Wolf of Providence and others for the Friars. Robinson off the clearing pass. Nunez, stride for stride. Griffin. Left foot.
Yeah, he had help coming, but I love the mentality from Adrian Nunez. Go ahead and put yourself in the penalty area. Get on the dribble.
Nunez, kind of the forgotten scorer this year for this Clemson team. 3 goals on the year after he led the squad with 6 a season ago. So you look at the stats, and you don't want to forget about a guy who plays with a lot of passion and emotion. You see folks like Robinson and Smith and Barber all in double figures. Nunez, an effective weapon that could help any team in the country win games.
Well, he's just so good on the dribble in 1v1 situations.
Good footwork through traffic that time. And offside's the call. Lima tried to get it ahead.
Good awareness by that Clemson backline. You could see the back 4 step in unison.
Kevin, I know as a college coach for many years, Georgia Southern teams, a fine squad you had. When you got to this point in the season, the seniors, they're trying to continue to play with their college teammates, and just think about the precious time on the field right now.
Yeah, absolutely. At this stage, it's win or go home.
Espen Wolf, freshman from Copenhagen, trying to work a give and go, and a nice feed back to him.
Good defending from Justin Malou. He's looking for the foul there.
DeVoe that time, who one of the good things he's done this year, he has 8 assists, trying to set one up that time with Wolf, but
Malou gets position. You can see a little push at the end.
frustration by Wolf on Malou, who's had a fine campaign in his junior year. Marks running into it. Lima. Bang. Got it to his left. Now on the attack once again. DeVoe. DeVoe had the winner at Penn State last week. Feeds across the middle. What a great idea that was, but Griffin unable to slide into it.
Danny Griffin there on the ball. What a ball in from DeVoe, though.
And DeVoe has it knocked away. Robinson. And Stoll.
Foul call on the Friars.
Tigers want to go quick.
Quick restart. There's going to be a foul there.
Ahead it goes to Barber. Barber trying to get around a defender. And recovering that time was Quasmi.
I'm a little surprised the referee's not
Check
coming
out the
back to have a
crosser.
word.
I think it was Griffin they were trying to get the ball to, and
He didn't miss by much. Just lovely ball from DeVoe. Shapes it with the outside of his foot.
contact. And
Looks like we have Agron down.
Agron
Can't tell if that's
his counterpart
Kwasmi.
Providence. Maybe Ramsey Kwasmi. No, that's actually Griffin. And as he pops up, Agrin sitting up. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, emotions are running high here. In that last moment when Clemson was on the attack, when Grayson Barber went in, it was contact with Robbie Robinson. He went down. The center official turned and looked back.
And you expected the foul call. So Agrin is up and okay, and he'll try to walk it off. Griffin, one of those savvy players, very tough, says his head coach Craig Stewart. We've seen that tonight. Diminutive at 5'9", 165, but he has shown some quickness from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. Agrin, who had gotten up and started to walk things off, I guess taking advantage of the rest, and Tiger freshman out of Sweden.
It's like we're going to see the athletic trainer come on for Clemson to
Mike
check
Noonan
out Agrin.
will also walk across from the Clemson bench, and he'll walk into your picture momentarily. Agrin favoring that right leg, and you can tell trying to walk off the injury.
Yeah, I don't think Clemson will be happy with this. It looks like the athletic trainer is telling the fourth official sent him on. He was called for. In that situation, if he comes on,
Agrin would have to
he would have to exit the field and be waved back on.
But Agrin,
it looks like what they've done. Agrin's just stepped off the field on the near side. Clemson will have to defend this set without him.
and Kwasmi. See where Agrin has stepped away. It's Griffin right next to him.
He's being waved back on, or he's being told he needs to go to the team bench side.
Griffin looks like he's going to run off the field with him.
Yeah.
So
interesting moments here.
Interesting. So both players will have to actually go off. Kwasmi. Mendonca was his intended target. Now Wolf. Mendonca looks things over. Griffin just back on the field. Lima out high. Talked by Barber.
And he picks out Wolf in the corner.
Wolf trying to work around Malou, but over to help out. Good job by Nunez.
Yeah, you have to appreciate how much Nunez is dropping back to defend.
Tigers looking to go on the attack as Gomez got it ahead. Barber in a battle with Vang. Dietrich, as so often he has, able to kind of restore some order. Gomez over to the corner. Gets it back from Nunez. He'll now look to reset. Malou, middle of the field. Agrin for that right leg. Looked injured moments ago. Dietrich, the header, out high.
Oh.
Robinson tried the shot, deflected.
Shot is blocked. Looked like Kawamzi again coming up with the big time block.
Tigers stay on the attack. Header try that time by Robinson, no. Barber, a week ago, he was the hero.
He's earned himself a corner. Good work there. Fakes the shot, cuts it back. Terrific header from Tanner Dietrich, though, knocking it down for Robbie Robinson. He tries to hit it on the half volley.
Great recovery. And then another opportunity for Barber. And that time, Roman able to come over. So suffice it to say, Chris Roman and Ramsey Kwasmi, a couple of sophomores, and vital figures in this first overtime. Tigers work the play. Robinson out high. Roman able to kick it away. Robinson just unable to get enough behind that right-footed shot attempt. Fernandez toward the middle. Mayaka trying to have an impact here.
He keeps it alive for Clemson.
Now Malou. And that's not the pass he wanted to make.
And Clemson
Bang.
slow down that counterattack from Providence.
Vang running into Mbai. And that was just a situation there where it just looked like there were two guys trying to fill the same space at once.
Good call from the referee. Mbai was just a little late on the challenge.
7 more fouls on the Clemson side. Bang is 5'5" and 140, smallest player on the field. Now we'll see him get some attention from the athletic trainer for the Friars. Third meeting all time in this series has been a classic as we're in overtime. Second straight for each team. And Vang will get a breather. Mike Noonan, Clemson chasing an 18th win on the year and a return to men's soccer Elite Eight for the first time since the middle of this decade. Lima ahead. And over in the corner, Scrap.
Good defending from Charlie Asensio, not allowing a cross to come in.
And with Trevor DeVoe and Asensio, with a focus by the Tiger defender.
And of course, this is just as bad as a corner kick. This long throw from Trevor DeVoe.
Saw the long throw opportunity late in regulation for Providence. Good job by Agrin. And then Roman's attempt. And it was Chris Roman who had that late shot attempt just before the final gun.
And he pounces on the loose ball.
And Mayaka, good job that time by Philip Mayaka of Clemson.
Yeah, pressing the ball. Santos here on the serve.
Santos, and that one's above the crossbar.
Looked like Mendonca get on the end of it. Couldn't quite get over the top of it.
Marks was leaving margin for error, and the header attempt by Mendonca. What an aggressive play.
Does well. He gets a lot of power behind it. Just can't get over the top of it.
1 minute remaining. We're in our first overtime. Tigers won in the first overtime a week ago. Fernandez to Dietrich. Dietrich trying to get it ahead to Mayaka. Pio Lima for Providence. Lima back to Wasmi. Now Roman. And Mendonca right through the legs of the Tiger defender, Mayaka.
So clever on the ball, isn't he?
Boy.
Just drags it back.
Physical force, too, at 6 feet, 172, and it looks even bigger than that. So DeVoe. 10 seconds to go. One final attempt to try to win on the road for Providence, and Marks able to jump up and make the grab before Santos could do anything with it, and we'll head to a second overtime period. Another chance with a late throw-in, just as Providence had at the end of our second half.
Good decision from George Marks to come for that. Make no mistake there, closing the first overtime period.
We continue on, 1-1 after one overtime, the Tigers and Providence. Our second overtime here at historic Riggs Field with Kevin Kennedy, Pete Hannity with you. A nice turnout tonight of Tiger fans. You see the student section with that paw flag, and Robbie Robinson and Clemson trying to advance with an 18th win on the season. His goal, less than 10 minutes into our match, got things going. that distance. And then Tiago Mendonca with under 10 seconds left. Mendonca with the goal for Providence, under 10 seconds to go in the opening half. Scoreless second half, and Arnie Smith and the Tigers trying to once again win in overtime.
Although we haven't seen a goal in the last 55 minutes, Pete, it's been a very entertaining match. Pretty open, back and forth.
Agrin on kick for the Tigers. Now move from left to right on your screen, meaning they're going into what continues to be a reasonably steady wind, about 11 miles an hour. It's been going steadily all night long. And now play will stop. Dietrich contact with Santos.
Yeah, Santos late on the challenge after Dietrich won it.
It's been an aggressive match, but really not all that chippy as with all the contact we've had you might expect. Now granted, the yellow card started to fly in that second half of play, but
and I think that was just to keep the game under control, not for the severity. There haven't been very many bad fouls.
no.
A lot of little ticky-tacky stuff.
But I think a very well-played match, and again,
To be expected from postseason play.
sure, and two teams very aggressive in their styles. They maybe go at it with a different approach, but a very solid match this evening. Mayaka trying to get it to Robinson, who is all but grabbed by the defender. And you see the attempt, and a successful one at that by Quasme to plead his case.
Referees having none of it. You could see Mayaka on the ball there, picking out Robbie Robinson.
Asensio. Smith. Quiet so far tonight. Crossing pass. And a
Picks out Dietrich.
great idea, but Tanner Dietrich unable to convert.
Big touch here from Arnie Smith to get around the end.
Naturally, you would think Robinson would be the target.
Tanner Dietrich's calling for contact from Wolf.
It's been Wolf right behind, and they can see well above the goal. Tanner Dietrich came in with 18 shots overall and
He's getting
18
booked
shots
now,
on goal.
perhaps for dissent.
Understandably, some emotion from Tanner Dietrich.
I'm a little confused about what just happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Has he just sent Dietrich off?
Wow.
Looks like perhaps he got a yellow card for dissent.
Oh. Well, there you go. Tanner Dietrich, of course, he'd earlier gotten the yellow card back in regulation. And did he get the yellow card for dissent, followed by the red card?
Looks like he's gotten the yellow there. I think he felt a little hard done by on the cross there. Looks like he felt he was a little too much contact with Wolf.
Of course, in the ACC
Can't see
Championship
what the
game,
second one is for.
yeah, Mbai got the red card for the Tigers. So Tanner Dietrich, and that is huge.
Well, the referee is certainly not going to win a popularity contest here.
Tigers will have to find a way to get it done without one of their on-field leaders and captains. And Robinson off the deflection, but a good job that time by Stoll of Providence. Griffin has that explosive step, tried to get it ahead to Santos. Now DeVoke to Roman. Santos. DeVoke unable to handle it. Fernandez.
Well, this is Arnie Smith.
Arnie Smith hits the deck. Santos defending. They'll head up into the stands. Nice catch by Arsenio from up above, or Asensio rather, from up above. Santos knocks it out. Asensio gets another opportunity. Barber looking to set up with the right foot. Dog defensively. Mayaka Off the penetration, Lima gets in the way of that.
And not a bad idea from Mayaka there to try to break Providence down on the dribble.
Let's see.
We're going to stop the game again here for another booking.
Another yellow card.
Looks like that was to Devote that time.
And it goes against the grad transfer from Boston College, Devote. And see what happens over here with Mbai.
I just don't see it, Pete. I don't see where that's a yellow. A little bit of contact. He's trying to get back on the field of play. It didn't look like he was knocking the ball out of Mbai's hand.
Sensio to Smith. Smith ahead. Barber trying to feed back to Smith.
Oh my, and that's a penalty. He's called it.
Lima.
Camarne's drawn it.
What a huge play right there. Pau Lima coming over.
Big time moment here.
And Camarne Smith trying to go on the attack.
Barber flicks him in. Just a little soft touch over the, looked like over Lima's boot.
See, Smith saw the opportunity to attack, and Lima obviously realizing that. So a huge moment now upcoming.
And we'll see if Robbie Robinson can hold his nerve here for Clemson. Providence, rightfully so, is protesting.
You see, has
Clemson has been 4 for 4 on penalties this year. Let's see if Robbie Robinson can step to the mark and make it 5 for 5.
Robbie Robinson, so effective when defenders are all around him. Here he will try to beat the goalkeeper, Austin Aviza. Second overtime, Robinson owns the lone Clemson goal. Fires, and the winner!
Clemson moves on. Robinson buries it.
Sudden victory for the Clemson Tigers.
Robinson, 2 goals on the night to push him to 18 on the year, 1 in regulation. He buries the second penalty, or the second goal, penalty kick in double overtime.
The team's 69th of the season, and Robbie Robinson.
You see your top 4 seeds go through. Clemson, of course, with that national number 2 seed.
Heartbreak for the Providence Friars. You saw several of their players sitting on the field. Robbie Robinson, you rarely see him smile. He always has that look of someone ready to deliver pain to the other team in terms of how he kicks the ball off his feet. But Robbie Robinson scored the first goal, and he scores the last. And Mike Noonan, he'll remember win number 110 at the helm of Clemson, the 334th of his career, and the Clemson Tigers 18th here in 2019. And they advance.
It didn't come without a little collateral damage, of course. Clemson moving on will be without the services of Captain Tanner Dietrich in the next round.
That late red card sending Dietrich to the bench, but it wasn't long after that. And one of the leaders for Providence, Paulo Lima.
Clever touch here from Camarne Smith. Just lifts it over Lima's leg, keeps his leg in there, draws the contact.
And the Lima infraction leading to the penalty kick try for Robinson. You wouldn't want anyone else in America to attempt it for you. And the Clemson Tigers getting the decisive goal from their junior from Camden. The winning tally for the Tigers, a second straight 2-1 win in overtime in this NCAA tournament.
He gambles on a visa, guessing, smashes it down the middle.
Tigers improve to 18-2-1. Providence's